Okay, it says we're live. So 20 seconds. And I'm gonna wait for it
It's
to
on.
be fully live before I open up the Substack app
It's
on my
it's on.
iPad.
It's on Substack. It's
Oh, it
about 8
is?
seconds behind. Yep, it's about eight
Okay.
seconds back.
All right, good. Because it takes a second for
Here we
it
go.
to load here.
Hey,
Okay. Hello, everybody.
hey
Good
guys.
morning.
I'm Jason. Where's Neuro? I don't know which side you're on.
Well, I could just
There.
good.
I don't like mirroring my screen. Like one of us is over here.
Oh,
Um,
I am mirrored. Sorry about that. I'll
no,
have to learn how to fix that later.
you look fine. Actually, I can read San Francisco
Oh, you
correctly.
can? It's backward for me.
That's okay. That just means you're mirrored on the. We learn the insights of the StreamYard studio. I need
Yeah,
the
we do.
cool
Okay.
voice effects that Lawrence has. I don't have one of those cool voice.
Oh, that's
Oh,
his mic. That is so awesome. I love that. And the little
I need you know, what I really need is an Illudium 235 explosive space modulator.
okay. Trying to find it's not showing up.
You're not seeing it?
No.
Do you need the link? I can send it to you.
No, I don't think so. Okay, wait. Here it is. Okay. That's so I can see the chat.
Yeah, join the chat.
Yeah.
We've
All
got
right, there we are.
disconnected. This is disassociative live streaming. We're dissociating in real time.
Yeah.
But I see, hey, Mason and Cheryl and Nancy,
Oh,
Tim.
Lisa.
Hey,
Hey, all
Lisa.
right.
I haven't. Hey, if you're not subscribed to Lisa, you better go subscribe to Lisa.
No kidding. Yeah, she's really good. We think there's so many good creators out here.
Oh, and Neuro, you're gonna want to mute your other device.
Yeah, I got it.
There we go. Cool. Yes, it's like echoes and stereo, and I feel like I'm live on Mission Control when I wear my headset.
Yeah.
Like if I don't wear my headset, I feel absolutely naked when I'm doing a live stream. I don't know why.
Oh, I don't
Like
feel naked,
it's
but
like secure. I don't know.
it helps drown out the dogs if they end up barking.
Oh, gotcha.
But the problem is that with Substack, I thought it was my headset, but no, it's with Substack and this headset are somehow not compatible. Because everywhere else it's fine, but it'll like cut and short out and go. And it's so annoying. And so there are times I'll just have to take it off because it'll cut out. Thank you, Lisa.
Is your headset Bluetooth?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's probably why. I
yeah.
gave up on anything that was wireless for microphone, other than my AirPods, which were great. But um, I'm hardwired because that's how I are. That's how I is. Um,
Yeah, that's my next investment when I have the funds.
hey Nancy,
Oh,
good to see you here.
I don't see
This
anybody
is
else.
informal, so
The
the
chat froze.
oh, that's Substack for you. Mine's still going.
Phyllis
Um,
joined. Oh, I
yep.
wonder if people are. Oh yeah, that's Hofty.
So
He
we're gonna
he
make this
likes
work.
he likes to watch TV, and for him this is exciting. Um,
Dog TV.
yeah, well, I mean, just about any TV. Hey, Erica.
But we were
Erica
gonna
Lee
like,
in the chats. I've known her since at least junior high.
oh
Um,
wow.
because of track and soccer and whatnot. She was a couple years ahead of me, actually. Um, a good friend of mine.
That's awesome. Well, it seems like today is like live stream day, and I realized like after we had put this together, like there's some other streams that are going on at the same time, and so if you're here, thanks for joining in. We appreciate it. We know you have choices in your live stream content here on Substack, but we certainly appreciate you joining us today. Uh,
Okay. Yeah, I need to see the screen, buddy. Okay. Thank you.
so
He no,
Neuro,
when I'm on my recliner and just watching the regular TV, he'll climb up in the recliner and sit on my chest.
oh my,
I- and I'm
that's
like,
like a
hey,
weighted
I can't
weighted
see, buddy.
blanket.
Except his bony butt is just right here.
It's a serious weighted blanket.
Oh my god.
Wild. Um,
Yeah.
so let's just tell everybody who's joined in what is it that we're doing here today? Because this
Um,
was kind of your idea, so I'm,
yeah, it's just this is an informal. It's we're still working on the structure of the podcast we want to do, but we want to have discussions about art and have guests eventually to where we talk about their art and I can share their art and inspirations and whatnot. But we don't have any guests lined up yet. We also didn't want to keep our audience waiting because I know some of you were really excited about this, and so we thought we would just have a informal conversation about art and see where it goes.
all right. Art for art's sake, as they say.
Yeah,
Um,
any art, not just paintings on walls and sculptures, like music, literature, film. Jason and I had a good discussion about film the other day.
mostly just old movie references because
Yeah.
nobody else is, none of my, when I go on my photo trips, most of my clients are not Gen X, so they never understand my movie references. And I have one client who's
Thank you,
like
Lisa.
totally down with all the references to like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and stuff like that. So this is just like chill stream thinking about art. Since we don't have a guest, but I'll ask you, like, what is your background
Mine?
yeah, do you have any art background or like,
Well,
I mean,
I don't
tell
have any
everybody what we're here for. Like,
degrees in it, unless you count English literature, right?
I don't have any
But
degrees in art either,
I
so it's
have
okay.
in as an undergrad. I don't talk about it a lot because some crap happened and it was traumatizing. But I was in a creative writing program at the University of Oregon. It's called the Kid Memorial Tutorial. It's very selective, and I applied and got selected. And they had the 37 or 38 seats, something like that, but they only accepted something like 32, I think, and for that year. And 19 of us finished. It was pretty stressful in and of itself, but anyways, I was pursuing creative writing before that in community college, and I actually abandoned it for a while, for the most part, after I was finished with my undergrad because of how traumatizing my experience was. And I just sort of like worked for a few years before deciding to go to grad school, but that wasn't art. That was teaching English to speakers of other languages. However, I did get to use art stuff sometimes.
Mhm.
And I even took a community activism course that was kind of art based, but
Cool.
also, yeah, and that was fun. Um, but anyways, yeah, I like art in general. I wouldn't say I'm scholarly about it.
Oh,
I,
certainly
I,
I am not.
I doodle and I write. I love music, but I'm really bad about learning about musicians most of the time.
Well, people ask me like, do you know this photographer? I'm like, no. Because
Yeah,
there's a million of us out here. It's like,
yeah.
I see that, I've got my photography, my little
Bueller.
Bible here. So this is, inspiration
Well,
for,
but you know a lot about the craft, and I've attended a
and
lot
I,
of your lives, and you're very informative, and
well, I've pretty much completely self-taught, it's like,
sometimes the best.
well, there's a thing about art. There's a technical side to it, to actually have the tools to do something,
Mhm.
and the creative, visionary part. And I find that the hardest thing is to like, for me, is like, how do I get what's in my head to manifest on some medium of some kind?
Yeah.
So the camera for me helps me do that a lot because I like tinkering with the camera. Um, I had a photographer once, professional photographer once, said, 10, 15 years ago when I first met the person, he said, you got a really good eye for this, you know what you're doing. And I don't know how that happened. you know, I don't know, like, and I certainly know that when I work with clients, there's creative people, there's technical people, and to get the necessary fusion is really hard. So like, I have a lot of people who follow and clients of mine or come to my workshops or whatever who have extreme technical backgrounds, like computer stuff. And
Yeah.
it's just hard for them to compose, how do I frame this? That's the hardest part, right? The framing, or how do I set this up in my camera? And they'll know all the knobs and the buttons and the dials. And then
Yeah.
I've had times where one I mean a really great example was the one time I was doing a photography trip in
Oh, that's
here in Colorado, and guy said, "Can I bring my wife along as a companion? She's sort of does photography. She's not really a photographer, but she has a camera and is going to." I said, "Sure, of course." And even though she didn't have half the technical skill that he did, her compositions were 10 times better. Like looking at the pictures, it's like, "Oh, you have an eye." And I like to tell my people that's like, "Oh, well, I can teach you how to use the camera and how to use the computer in time, but it's really hard for me to show you, what to, how to see, right?" So that's where I'm coming from, just background in enjoying art stuff, but
yeah.
not knowing about names.
In terms of drawing, like I've had very, very little formal training, so I'm mostly self-taught because I didn't learn like color theory academically. I had to do that
Oh
myself.
gosh, there's a lot of that stuff that I've yet to even mess with.
Oh
So,
yeah, well, when it comes to actually drawing or doodling or whatever, I didn't do color for a long time because
mhm.
if I did do a drawing and then decided to color it, I ruined it and it looked
Oh
like
really?
shit. So I just stuck with graphite for a long time. Then I started playing around with like big pens. And I was
Neat.
like, you know what? Because I could color like in coloring books, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, but not my own stuff
Hmm.
because I
Yeah.
didn't know how to shade with the different colors.
Yeah, well,
So
that's
when I
hard.
learning color theory, particularly with using uh, like color pencils or whatnot, there are different techniques. So color pencils, I learned that well, you got to start with the lighter shades first,
Mm.
you know,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
and then I started messing around because I saw other artists doing. I started messing around with like ink first, like laying down something on Sharpie, not doing the whole picture of it, just the like base stuff, and then coloring on top of that, and some really cool stuff can come out about it. Now I haven't completed anything in full ink based yet, um, especially something that's not my own. There's something I lifted out of a coloring book if I can find it, because it's not my picture, and I'm not going to claim that I did it. This was just experimenting with color itself. It's in the thing somewhere. I just saw it. Uh, okay. See, another things that I've like tried to learn since I'm in the midst of looking at is like optical illusion stuff,
Oh yeah, that's cool.
and that's from a lesson that I found online.
Well, it's
Oh, Erica, yeah, she said I have to take a gazillion pictures of my canvas to even make decisions for painting, and that's actually a really clever technique. That's a good strategy, you know,
well, like when you go to an
because
art
just like
museum
in
and
writing, you have drafts
yeah.
when it
Well, it's like
comes
if you go to the art
to
museum and they have a real in-depth exhibit of a particular artist, they will show you all their studies for the painting. They would have iterated who knows how many times before they actually laid down on a canvas the thing. And then even then they might go back and redo it.
it might not be in this one. Well, here's another one. This is when I was just starting out learning color theory, and it wasn't finished, because I realized I muddied the eye and it was kind of beyond repair. Um, so I tried to hold it closer to the camera, and there's different techniques in there, not just
Mhm.
straight up shading. There's some stiping in there. Stiping is kind of when you just do a bunch of dots.
Like
Stifling,
stippling.
stippling. Yeah,
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 yeah.
that's it. Stippling.
So I want to go to the hey Neuro. There's a really good question from Nancy in the chat. I was
Oh
wondering
yeah.
if you can address that because I I don't understand why people wouldn't think that using a digital uh, medium wouldn't be art, and I get that too, because there's people who struggle to see photography as being, art. I mean, right? You're using a tool that produces the image,
Yeah.
but I mean, if you draw.
I'm gonna I'm
Paintings
gonna
on an iPad, that's still art.
I'm gonna show something I did back in 2016 that I used different free apps on. I just transferred the image back and forth till I got, and it was just playing around. I will try to find it, but it took me hours and hours and hours. And I actually prefer drawing on paper because I don't know, I just like the feel of the friction on it better than the slippery glass on the. But if I don't have anything else, I will use the iPad.
You can
So
get iPad screen protectors that are a paper kind of texture.
really,
Yeah, I had them at one point. I did a whole bunch of doodling and artwork using an iPad, and the app is called Procreate. So
oh, I
it's
have
like
Procreate.
yeah, Procreate's great, and you can do layers and you can do all kinds of stuff, and it's quite cool. And so if you go out and shop around, there are some iPad and tablet screen protectors that just have a little bit of texture on them, so you get more of a paper-like feel when you're using a pencil or a stylus. But I think digital art is just as valid. What I don't
It
like
is
is typing a prompt into a chat bot and saying make me a picture. That's not art, but that's
right,
different.
unless you're, because I know some disabled people who can't use their hands.
Hmm.
And I know this gal, she does use AI, but she like spends hours giving it directions, giving it
Hmm.
to make it look exactly the way she wants. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's valid, you know. Um, but yeah, just generating something super quick, I'm just like that takes the process out of it. I
Yeah. I
I
saw
don't want
that.
to be a
You know
snob.
how
But,
so this is just a funny little aside because I was reminded. So like Lisa, the third estate is in our chat.
oh,
I hope if she's still there, but Lisa's in the Chicago area and mentioned the Ferris Bueller thing. And if
yeah,
you,
I saw that.
I was in Chicago. I hadn't been in a long time. I was in Chicago in the beginning of October. It was beautiful there. It was wonderful. Um, and I had a little time to kill
Mm,
before I had to work, and so I went to the Art Institute of Chicago, which is awesome. You should go. Um, and they have one of the things you can do is you can scan a QR code, and it will literally pull up the map, and it will take you to every single stop in the Art Institute of Chicago that they use in the Ferris Bueller's Day Off movie. So like every place that they went, you can take a virtual tour and follow along in your smartphone, which I thought was
I can't find it.
pretty clever.
I can't find
So
it. I,
I'm all for
I
the Art Institute of Chicago.
Yeah, they have them in a bunch of cities. I think it's the same institution. Portland had one. I don't know if it still does.
Yeah, they pulled all the exhibits that were shot in scenes from the movie, and so they give you a map of how you can go to visit each installation that they had in the movie
Okay.
itself, which is pretty fun.
Okay, I have way too many albums here. I'm never gonna find this. Okay, nope. How do I get back? I have stuff where I played with like pictures too, actual pictures, and then um, changed them manually. Like using eraser and drawing on it.
Oh, okay.
With the layers and older apps like Pixar had layers. I used to use Pixar. I don't anymore because it sucks now. It used to be cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
there's one that I did
that's a thing that
right
you can
after.
do.
This is political, but right after what's her name? Conway said alternative facts.
Oh God.
I did one that I just show it on the screen. There is screen sharing, but this isn't. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, that's cool.
The glare. And you can't see the whole thing, but I had actually erased the Statue of Liberty's arm, like part of it off, and I made it broken off and I made it rusted looking, right? And so that was I made it look post-apocalyptic basically, and the tag is alternative peace.
Alternative piece. I'm
Yeah.
trying to see if I still have Procreate on my iPad. Yeah, I do.
Hey,
I
Jason,
upgraded my
can
iPad.
I? Is there a way I can send this to you? because it's not on my laptop. I can't screen share from my laptop. I would like people to get a better look at it. Is there a
Well,
way
we
you
can
could throw it
try.
up there on StreamYard? Okay,
Uh,
I'm gonna send it to you on your on the or
just
text. I'm
yeah,
gonna
text
text
it
it
to
to
me.
you. If I can't, I have a lot of Jasons in my contacts. There you are.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if that worked.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna pull Substack back up on so I can see the chats. So I'm not really replying in text on the chats because I would have to finger pack.
Let's see.
Somebody's blowing up my phone. Hang on.
Not
Oh,
me.
Erica
Not
sent me
me.
something.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I can make this work. I've got the file. I just
Oh,
trying to pull it
that's
up.
cool shit, Erica. I like that. Anyway, I didn't know if she wanted me to share that.
Okay. All right. Let me see what I can do with this. We're going to try to get technical here. So that's why there's two of us. Neither of us know what we're doing. Let's see.
Yeah, we're
Present.
new to the StreamYard thing.
Let's see. Share. Telephone. Let me just see.
I wish
Present.
I could find the eye.
Image file. All
The
right.
eye
Hang
is the
on.
thing that I'm really proud of.
Oh, hang on. Because it's not in a format that StreamYard likes because it was a HEIC file. So hang on just a minute while I'll convert it. I'm gonna go back to this uh, computer. I just need to talk to my computer. Open Neuro's image and export, and then JPEG, and then all right, now image file, desktop. There it is. Okay, and I'm going to do this. Boom!
Anyway,
Look at that.
yeah, so I did that mostly in PixArt, but not completely. And yeah, that actually took me hours. I took the photo from Getty Images. You do that from that or Creative Commons, and I downloaded it, and then I threw it up in PixArt and made it look post-apocalyptic. Now part of it's cut off. You used to be able to see like the arm was gone. But anyway, so doing things on the computer and digitally isn't not art.
Yeah, that's a long way of saying that it's absolutely valid. And one of the things I did with
Hey, Ashley.
I'm trying to find because I haven't been in my Procreate in a really long time. But it's this cool program in the iPad, and what you can do is if you put a photo into it, then you can use that like to trace because you can have other layers, like you were as though you were using tracing paper, right? So you can then paint over, and then you can erase the photo at the end, and you have your art that's left over. It's my stuff generally absolutely sucks, but that's that's you never know what you're going to get. I'm just trying to see if there was anything like worth sharing at all. Like, oh yeah. So hang on. Let's see. Let me see what I can do. Select. I'm going to try to share some crazy nutty thing that I did. And
I don't even know what I did. But I think the last time I was trying to make something in Procreate, I was trying to draw honeycomb with larvae,
oh yeah,
and it was awful.
okay, that's good. Okay.
Hey, Julie.
So let me try something else now. I'm going to put something silly up. Okay. This will just be silly. Let's see, remove that. I'm gonna put up a new, but this is an example, like of just random stuff you can do. Let's see. There we go. So I took a tardigrade picture and then I like painted over it.
Oh, I love tardigrades. They're so cute.
So right, because they're just so cool, right? So like tardigrades are these little microscopic. They call them water bears, um, but they can like survive in space. I think.
Yeah. Did
So
you
I had
see
this idea.
Discovery?
Yeah, yeah. So the space tardigrade, right, from
Yeah,
Star Trek Discovery, that was like a thing. So
that was fun.
this is my silly little attempt. But I started with the tardigrade, and then I was able to trace it using the paintbrushes and pens on the iPad, right? And so then different layers for backgrounds and stuff. And so my project that I actually was using Procreate for was I did a whole bunch of abstract, just painted uh, texture type things, and I exported all the files out, and I have them on my website that people can buy because you can use them to overlay on photos. So I will take a photograph that I've taken and then composite it with another abstract image, like a painting, or painted just textures or whatever, and blend them together, and it creates this new unique combination. So that's a fun thing I like to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was
I
just
thought
opening up.
you look
Just
confused for a second. I thought I completely lost you.
no, it's all right. I got.
So
I've
we're
got an
good.
echo.
Okay. Well, so I don't know what else there is for. I'm just trying to figure out like what it is that I can.
That's
But
okay.
like there's really good artists on who use Procreate and do some pretty amazing things. So not like me. I
This is
try.
also streaming on NeuroDivergent Hodgepodge on YouTube. So I was just looking over there real quick to see if there
Oh,
was any chatters, but there's nobody there, so that's
okay.
fine.
Well, that's not the worst thing ever. You know how the YouTube can be a little bit
Oh my
crazy.
God. Yeah. Well, it tends to be a lot of trolls.
Hey, I see Julie joined. Hey, Julie, good to see you.
Oh, we've got 32 people. That's pretty good for
Hey,
a
hey,
first time.
hey. Well, and we're gonna make this better. Like there was some weird technical stuff going on with Substack and live streaming today. Like it just kept disappearing stuff on me. So I don't know what was going
Me
on.
too. I
We
wasn't even
had this
aware
thing
that was
scheduled.
happening.
Well, you wouldn't know it was aware until you went back and tried to find it, and all of a sudden it didn't show a stream anymore. And I was thinking, what the heck, So that was just completely bizarre.
Because when I
Uh,
first went into StreamYard getting ready for this, which was less than an hour before we started, I was just setting that up, and I had no idea until Jason pointed out that it disappeared. So I'm glad
yeah,
because
I didn't see it.
um, I tend to be super early on things, so I'm glad for that because we could have been several minutes late.
This whole day has like flown by. It's just been doing one thing after another, but it's cool. And at some point we'll figure out a nice. I think weekends actually are good. I look at the schedule for all the lives during the week, and it's just packed.
Oh yeah,
It is so packed with all the really good journalism and news shows and stuff like that. And um,
yeah, and I really love the communities. So the that's how Jason and I met. We just overlapped with a lot of live streams, so we were through the chats. That's how
uh,
a lot of us have met actually.
oh yeah, I mean it's great, and I've met a lot of really cool people here.
Yeah,
It's like you're part of this extended family or community or whatever it is, which is great because my
yeah.
neighbors aren't really social. So
Yeah, neither are mine all that much. Like there's my 80-year-old neighbor that I hang out with, and he's pretty much the only one I hang out with over here. But I'm friendly with a lot of them.
yeah, my neighbor next door, she's pushing that age and she's widowed, and I've known her. They moved into the townhouse next to mine like 2 weeks before I moved in. So we're roof mates, so to speak.
Roommates.
We share a roof, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's share walls. I don't share a roof with any of my neighbors. I have a townhouse, so
Yeah, Julie, there's a couple of streaming RMTP platforms. Um, so Restream is one, StreamYard is another. None of them are really. Some of them are free, but if they're free, you have a lot of restrictions, like they're going to watermark it, and you're limited to you can't go more than an hour. Um, and those platforms are fine if you're trying to stream to multiple outlets, like Neuro's going to her YouTube channel.
yeah.
Um, so some people like to stream to YouTube, to Facebook, to wherever. Facebook. I
Yeah.
just cringe
I
worthy.
left everything meta. Everything.
I'm almost there, but I can't give up my hedgehog's Instagram account, my lit hedgehog, because it's kind of like therapy. I scroll through hedgehog accounts, and that's really quite good.
You can't
Uh,
back it up because like the Facebook you could.
well, no, I just like it's his whole stream is his whole feed is just other hedgehogs.
Oh,
So I
okay.
like just going in there and just browsing, and so it's like that's pretty much the thing. I had this whole project. It was the silliest thing that over um um I started so it was during the pandemic. I was on Procreate because I was like, what am I going to do sitting by myself this whole time? And so um that's when I started doodling hedgehogs, and I made them and I put them in a red bubble. So like I'm going to see if I can send myself this.
I understand, Julie.
Yeah.
I'm behind the tech curve too. Julie said that Lisa Joy brings up using new platforms, and
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'm terrible at juggling my social media, so like I almost forgot that Blue Sky exists.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm there, but I like this place better. So let me see what I can do. Add to. So I was
Oh,
making
that's
like
so cute.
I was making these little hedgehog doodles, and it morphed into this whole thing, and I made a little Redbubble shop so people could get them on coffee mugs and stuff like that.
Oh,
This
cool.
is the extent of my painting abilities on my um on my iPad. But
Looks like,
those were
comic strip stuff. It's still art.
right, absolutely. I mean, graphic art is graphic art. There's there's a whole side of and I've always liked that kind of graphic art.
I saw
I,
Stacy Carney enter, and I sort of knew a Stacy Carney from my hometown. I don't know if that's the same Stacy Carney.
I don't know.
Well, hello, Stacy.
Okay, so I'm going to pull back the hedgehog. Um, but that was my attempt at art with a pencil. But the Apple Pencil and the iPad, it was kind of cool. I was just having fun and doing that,
I
and then
had
you
an
can
Apple
export
Pencil.
them as whatever format you want. You can
I had
save
an
them.
Apple Pencil, and it died, and I never got another one. Um, and I just didn't like the feel of it anyway. Um, but I got these little styluses. I've had them for a long time, and
And those work.
they have it has a wire mesh, so it actually gives you a tiny bit more friction than the Apple Pencil.
Uh huh. And doesn't
Um,
screw up your screen.
no,
Oh, that's good.
it's I don't know, it's like micro, but it's magnetic, so like I can do stuff. I can draw, or I can just use my iPad with it. Sometimes I play games. This iPad's a dinosaur though, so it just doesn't respond to touch like it used to.
Oh no.
So I'm definitely not going to be drawing on it anytime ever again. Redbubble. Julie asked, you said on
Yeah,
Redbubble.
hold on. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it. Hang tight. Um, I I don't. I'm not exactly. Um, I said copy. I'll make sure this works.
And so while Jason's doing that, I can talk about a little bit of my inspirations. I haven't studied art um, formally, but I do like MC Escher and Banksy.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. Um, I don't do cubism, but there's one cubist artist that I like who was the pupil of Picasso, is Lam Fredo. Lesser known, but I think actually a better artist. Lam Fredo was also Cuban, but she's like Afro, I think Chinese Cuban. Um, anyway, interesting guy. Look him up. The Jungle or La Jungla is my favorite of his.
So I just threw a link in there. A lot of these are pretty much old because I was doing this all during the 2020 um, pandemic. Enjoy the joy of that. But that's a link if anyone wants to look at those. But the nice thing about Redbubble is like you put your designs up there, and then if people want to buy something, it's just print on demand. So if they want a coffee mug, they just make a coffee mug and they ship it to them. So um, it's all good. I'm gonna look that one up too, NeuroD, because
Yeah,
that
just put it in the chats. We Fredo.
that's cool. We had MC Escher art in the house. My parents had one of his, you know,
Now, I
drawings.
couldn't tell you anything biographically about him at all.
No, I probably couldn't either. That sounds like a job for Wikipedia, doesn't it?
Uh,
Where I get everything,
or the
uh,
library.
or the library.
You know, it's
Um,
cool. When people say, "Oh, I don't have the link to such and such," New York Times or whatever, um, I can access all of that through my library, and I don't even have to go to the library. I have an online account with my public library. I don't
uh-huh.
know if all libraries do that, but mine does. So
I'll have to look.
I can access like all, I don't know about all, but a lot of newspapers and magazines and among other publications digitally through my public library.
That's very cool. I've
Yeah.
been I took a cue from one of the guests on another live stream who pointed out that if you need an article from the New York Times, you can go to the web archive site um, and put in the URL, and then it's there and no paywall
Uh,
because it's constantly refreshing. It's like I want to archive a web page for historical, because I want to save it. So you can feed it a URL to read, but you can also put in a URL to view, and it'll show you all the version history from all the times that it had taken snapshots of that same article. So if it changes or something, you could tell. So it's useful when there's a paywall sometimes because I'm I understand paywalls, like that's a thing, but like when it's major news stuff, it's frustrating
yeah,
because I
especially
really
if
don't.
you want your populace to be informed.
Right, and I mean I'm certainly sympathetic to the issues of people don't subscribe to print newspaper anymore, so there's where do you
Yeah,
get revenue from, because they would sell ads in those things, but frankly, I'm at the point now with like streaming TVs, like, you know what, just give me the commercials back.
yeah, no kidding.
I'll sit
It
through
just
30-second commercials and take a break if I have to, so that I don't have to pay 19.99 a month for yet another streaming service.
yeah, it adds up. Uh, Um, that's another thing that gets me on YouTube. You can go ad free, right?
You can. Yeah.
But we get ads if we're ad free, and generally people who are ad free, right, don't want to pay for it or they can't. People who can afford to are the ones who can buy shit. How do ads work? If the people who could afford it never see the ads.
Yeah, well, right. And I've tried ad blocker stuff, and then that screws things up. And or I love it when it's like, we noticed you're using an ad blocker. Please disable this. But I don't
Yep.
know. So you have any cool you got any projects going on right now, Neuro, or you just sort of just besides
Visually,
this one, besides trying to figure out if we can talk about art once a week or whenever it is that we do something?
yeah. No, I don't have like for doodles. No, I don't have anything that I've started yet. Um, the last one that I did that wasn't a protest sign was like in October, um, and it was abstract, but it kind of looks like I don't know a whole bunch of worlds spilling into a cave in a way.
Cool.
It's on my Substack, but I didn't scan it. I just took a picture of it with my phone. I was being kind of lazy
Mhm.
about it. And I gave that to my friend Jill down in Eugene. And anyways, yeah, it's if you look back in my posts, I don't have any paywalls, so you should be able to find it. And I don't remember what I titled it. I think it was something about I don't always write, but it's there. I remember before I even put it up on Substack, a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, that's amazing!" And I'm like, "Really? Okay."
Cool.
Yeah. So I threw it up there.
I think one of
Um,
the interesting things for me is I think we assume that like when someone makes a painting or some piece of art that they just kind of like it just comes out of their brain, it just goes onto the canvas or whatever. And I find that when I'm in an art museum and you can actually see the real piece in front of you, and you'll sometimes see that there's pencil lines and oh no, they actually used a ruler. It's like, no, you don't have to paint straight lines. It's okay to
yeah,
use tape. And it's like, the materials, the sort of the infrastructure, if you will, of like the tools that they use to do it, because it's like I can't draw a perfect circle, right? It's like, so
yeah.
I
I
think
did
there's a
use
lot
some
of behind
tools
the
to
scenes
start out,
stuff, but you know what I mean?
but a lot of those circles in there were actually without a tool. The
No, that's
bigger ones
cool.
I used a tool, but
Yeah.
the smaller ones and some of the no from well, I just look at it.
Hey, I had a 10th grade geometry teacher who, no kidding, he could go up to the chalkboard and he held the chalk in a certain way and he went around like this and he could draw a damn near perfect circle every time. So some people have that skill. I do not.
Yeah. Let's see. It's a little dark on my desk. Yeah, that's not perfect. It's also not paper.
Well,
I can't. I
it's an
don't.
imperfect circle.
Yeah, I don't. I don't doodle on my desk very much. Well, I write in pencil on my desk. I take notes instead of using post-it notes.
Oh, yeah.
And then when it gets to be that there's like too much on there, it starts to become background noise. I just clean my desk.
That's one way to do it. There you go.
Yep.
I I have the curse of being left-handed. So whenever I was in school, you use a pencil and you just get all the graphite
Oh,
here because you're going across this way.
I did that right-handed because of the way I hold the pencil. Um, but yeah, I just learned to go since I'm right-handed, go left to right, top to bottom.
Well, the struggles of childhood pencil gripping is they're real. It's a true thing.
um, I can actually draw. I found this out when I took one art class to meet my associate's degree requirements in community college, and he had us doing pastels. That I could draw the same with pastels with my left hand as I could my right.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and it was so funny the way my art teacher reacted when he came across because he's like, "Aren't you right-handed?" I didn't want to smudge it, so I was drawing with my left-handed, and I was like, "Yep," and he goes, "That's fucking amazing!" Like,
That's cool.
Yeah,
That is really cool. So,
I didn't know I could do it either, so
I'm
I did
trying to
it.
think. It would be really great if the folks in the who are joining us send us some ideas for
Oh yeah,
potential topics, potential guests. If you want to be, you don't need to be a professional artist to join us in this space. That's the whole
no,
point. This is, what
art
we're working
appreciation.
on. Yeah, well, we're working on a space to just appreciate creativity as much
Yeah,
as anything else. And by art, it doesn't mean necessarily visual. It could be music. It could be
literature.
whatever. Dance. I don't know. I,
Yeah,
I don't. I don't dance, but um, there are people who
I
can,
did in
and
high school
it's not me.
for a year.
Uh, so, but
Uh,
that would be really cool to get some ideas because we just wanted to have this as a free an inclusive space for people who are trying to get in touch with their creative side. Perhaps is that a good way of saying it, Neuro?
yeah, and it's also morale, right? During these times, I think regardless of the political spectrum you're on, whether or not you're on the right side of history, these are not easy times. Um, and it's morale is important. And I've even read through some, like, I don't know if they're actual biographies because they weren't that long, but little stories about how people kept up morale during the darkest of times, like during the Holocaust, even within concentration camps. Um, so, like, it's just important to carve out some joy to as a way of kind of like keeping your bearings, keeping your
Hmm.
your gravity and grounding, and not completely lose your shit. You know, you've got to want a reason to stay alive, right? And that's one of the reasons is creativity, art, and
Hmm.
joy. Um, the people who do creative things and are kind, these are things worth living for and worth fighting for. Um, and art, creativity has kept humanity and communities alive since, well,
At
I
least
guess
since they
since the
were painting
first
on
human
caves.
picked up a stick and drew on a cave. Yeah. So,
I mean, goes
yeah,
back probably farther than that. We just don't have the record of it, right?
right. Like probably vocally,
I'm
but
sure that
yeah,
what they were ended up drawing was early examples of the Far Side cartoon, right? Because he always had the he always had the cave people in his comics. But so we're gonna just keep pushing on this to see where things go. It's a total experiment. This is experimental
yeah. But I
Substack,
want to
right?
say I lived in an authoritarian country, China, for close to 2 years. Um, and it was very dystopian in a lot of ways, because, authoritarianism sucks. But they embraced art and music in their culture and had for
Right,
centuries,
right.
thousands of years. And that's one thing they maintained. And I would encounter people who would sing and dance in the streets. Um, and they encourage that with all their children. It doesn't matter if they end up dancing or singing or drawing or whatever, but they do encourage their kids to be creative. And I see that as a lifeline with a lot of, or I saw that as a lifeline for a lot of people in China, creativity. Um, and
Yeah,
it was hard on them there. Kids went to school so many hours and did so many other things that their parents had them do that they weren't getting enough sleep.
oof,
Yeah, I had kids literally falling asleep in my classes trying to stay awake. Um,
that's hard. That's really hard.
yeah, and it was hard to witness a lot of that, also in the ways they discipline that I don't agree with. Um, but the other side of it was these other things that did make them happy that they had,
Mhm.
like being able to draw something or make something, sculpt something or sing or whatever it is. It was kind of neat walking along the streets in China and seeing people out with their kids and their families at night after work. That they were still very family oriented, and also seeing people singing or dancing and not really giving a shit whether or not anybody was watching them. Like,
There you
that
go.
was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, All right. So where do we want to take this? We're almost at the top of the hour. So is there anything
Um,
else we got on your mind for this pilot test bed episode, or where do we want to?
Welcome back,
I'm just
Stacy.
trying to think what else we were gonna. Like I said, everything's on the table right now. So
Yeah,
we're not. This is a space that we hope to just provide some creative outlet, not just for us but for everybody else out there too,
yeah.
right?
If anybody in here in the chats is, of the creative sorts and interested in coming on with us, just message me or Jason, and let us know what your interests are and what you do, and we'll have a little discussion about having you on.
Yeah.
Sound good?
And once we establish a sort of a schedule, we'll be better. But for right now, it's a little. We're still working through the process. We're still having trouble just getting Substack to schedule our lives the right way.
We're also structuring how we want to do the podcast. So, we have an actual name, well, for something like bigger, but yeah,
We'll,
we
we'll we'll get there when we get
still
there.
in the planning stages. It's just we're taking our
Yeah.
time on it. We don't want to be sloppy. We also didn't want to keep our audience waiting.
Well, we could
Yeah.
just do fingerprint stuff, finger painting. We could
Yeah,
be sloppy.
there we
We could
go.
just be messy. Do we have to?
Impromptu finger painting.
If you come on this show, do you have to wear a smock? That's what I want to know.
I'm not, I don't do painting.
Uh, yeah.
So it wouldn't be me.
Well, my one painting, I don't know whatever to do with it. I have a painting sitting in my garage, which is literally my the what I painted on the back or the inside of my bedroom door when I was in high school, and it's sitting. And my parents kept it because they were like, "We're gonna keep the door."
So
So I have the door. There's a big
my
painting
dad,
on it.
I did take an art class in high school, and one of them is a painting of a drawing. It's where you take the drawing you did in graphite, and the drawing was so much better.
Hmm.
But anyways,
Did you do the grid
so
thing, or you grid it out and
it
make
wasn't
it
a
bigger?
grid.
Okay.
Um, it, I did use a canvas, but it was we used a projector, so you project the image onto the painting and then paint within the lines.
Oh, cool.
And painting is just not a medium I that I'm into really.
That's awesome.
But the art teacher liked it and actually asked if he could submit it in some kind of competition or whatever. And I was like, I actually hated the painting. I still hate it. But I was like, yeah, okay, I don't care. And it didn't win anything. I didn't care. But my dad found it and framed it. And
Oh,
now
how
it's in
sweet.
it's in their party house. Oh my God. Okay. And I get compliments on it and stuff, and that's okay. Art is subjective. Um,
Hey, I mean, look
it,
at Jackson Pollock, right? I mean, you can throw paint on something, and yeah. But I've discovered that the art that looks like a 3-year-old painted it is really hard to do.
oh, like David Hockney?
Or just any of those things where it just looks like childish stuff, but it's like, wait, that's actually not, that's better than that. It's like it takes a lot of talent to do something in that style.
Yeah, color theory comes into play with that, and you also have to be skilled with your medium. I'm not skilled with painting. I could probably learn how to do it. Uh, Not interested in it. I appreciate paintings though.
Hmm. Sure. I mean, I think most of us do, but yeah, it's you have a even greater appreciation for it when you try it yourself and you realize, wait a minute, this is hard.
Oh, I'll still watch Bob Ross to chill out. So
Actually,
a lot of that.
that's funny. I was in this is just since you brought up Bob, I forget where I was at. I was in where the heck was I? I was on a tour somewhere, and I think we were in Ireland, and then they had the little gift shops and the candy shops, and I have a box of mints with my Bob Ross Happy
That's
Little
so
Tree
cool.
mints. Yes, they're happy little trees, and so like the mints themselves are actually these little tiny trees. You see, they're happy little trees, and they're mints. So and I have and then
Oh,
so that one was one of the Yeah, shut up and just take my money. Here you go. Yeah, we're good.
Did you know he permed his hair?
Yes. And
I
there's a
learned that
weird
recently.
story behind it.
He couldn't afford the haircuts, and I guess perming his hair was cheaper. But then
It was,
once he
and
could afford haircuts, it was his brand.
yes,
I'm
and so
like,
he had to
wow,
keep it.
okay.
Yeah, that was what I heard. Um, and I used to watch. My mom used to watch all those shows on PBS. Because and there's this. It's sort of a weird story because before Bob Ross, Bob Ross was a student of another painter named William Alexander. He was like a Hungarian guy,
Okay.
and he sort of developed the technique of painting like, you know, in process, not like waiting hours, but or days, but just going in the spur of the moment. And I think Bob Ross was like his student or something. Um, and we used to watch the Bill Alexander stuff, and he had the thick Hungarian accent or Eastern European accent, and
Ah,
I remember him doing his thing. And then Bob Ross kind of took that over and became the big name that we know now.
his name was Bill Alexander.
Yeah, William Alexander, and
William.
and and he's a white-haired little, older guy, and I just remember him, and watching those. I think the thing about Bob Ross is it's like watching Bob Ross is like ASMR or something like that, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's truly soothing. You're just, oh, and we're just gonna make
and
some
the brush
little
strokes
tree.
don't even trigger my misophonia. A lot of ASMR does.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Dana did one in a live on Gen XE once where she was whispering, and I ended up throwing my headphones off
Oh
because
no.
it was like immediately being shocked for me. It's very unpleasant when
Oh, it can't be
yeah,
fun.
a very unpleasant physical response with certain noises, and it gives me fight or flight. They're like, ah,
Oh no.
I take my
Not cool.
headphones off, and then I laugh because it's not like she meant to do that, and I'm sure if anybody had been watching me at that moment, they would have been like, what the fuck. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I like to think I'm channeling my inner Bob Ross when I'm working on my photographs and just making them better. But I don't have an afro either. I don't have the
I
perm.
don't think it'd work out.
That's kind of a tough sell at this point.
Yeah. Um, yeah, my hair got less and less curly. I never had really super tight curls, but I did have curly hair, bigger curls. And before it got this gray, because it's less curly than it used to be, if I cut it short, I would be poofy headed. And I called
Oh,
it my Euro fro because it wasn't quite like an afro. It wasn't tight curls, but it was it very voluminous.
Juliana's
voluminous,
in the chat
voluminous.
saying about Bob Ross. I like how Bob Ross, his whimsical strokes, 1, 2, 3, and boom, there's the Himalaya right there. It's just, and then I'll just use the knife and do the thing.
And happy
So
accidents.
happy accidents.
Yeah,
That's right. We could use more of that right now. I mean, not
yeah, we could
accidents, but we could use some more um, chill
totally.
time. Uh, all right. Well, I think we are just about up to the top of the hour. So I want to just thank you, Neuro, for suggesting we do this because this was fun.
Yeah,
And
it was.
obviously, we'll try to schedule some more. Um, Fair warning, I've got a fair bit of travel coming up in the next 2 months, but doesn't mean we won't have more things to do. I
Yeah.
probably won't be able to join live from my trip to Spain in March, but who knows? You never know.
Well, we could
Maybe I'll
have
have
a
Wi-Fi in the hotel or something. We could still have a hangout.
yeah, good.
I
Or
mean,
if you can't,
you
Dana
know,
and Loris have a substitute co-host.
there you go.
Reason we
I mean,
can't.
that's yeah, good by me. Yeah, I'm gonna hope to get a bunch of pictures of all the Gaudi art in architecture in Barcelona. That's high on my list.
See, in bigger picture, farther down the road, my idea was not just having like one stream with just Jason, but like having something that's more comprehensive, bigger picture, like art version of Banner and Backbone, if you're familiar with that, which has different shows with different people and different expertise. So you could have podcasts that are specific to film, etc. Different people, but I'm not an expert on any of them, right? I wouldn't say that the Bachelor of Literature makes me an expert. I'd have to be like a PhD. But
We can discuss all those things. But yeah, this is what this community is here for. It's what this, I mean, there's all these people here in the chat that up until, a few months ago, I wouldn't known they would existed, right? So
yeah,
and there's 42 people, so I'm waving hi to our 42
that's great
people.
for a first of an episode series, really.
Seriously. And
Um,
we'll, like I said, we'll try to get the scheduling fixed out because we had some weirdness today that just came out of left field. So
yeah, that was Substack because they just deleted our stream for a minute.
yeah, I don't get it. Nevertheless, thank you for all the likes. Hit that heart button for us, people,
Yes,
because you
please.
got to hit a couple of likes. And if you haven't subscribed to either myself or NeuroD, hit the subscribe button. Just click the little banner at the top of the screen. We appreciate it. Yay for the hearts. Yay.
Oh, and hello, Mom. I love you. Oh, can I do hearts?
Probably
No,
do
it's
hearts.
not doing it. Not doing it.
Oh,
That must be a restream thing.
Mine are, well, I don't know. Oh, it's probably a camera thing.
Yeah, I'd set it up before. Maybe I have to do it every time.
Yeah, who knows? Well, it's all good.
There we go.
Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. And stay tuned. We'll give you more notice for the next one. We promise.
All right. Thanks for coming. Hope to see you next time. Carve
Take
out some
care.
joy.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Now, how do I get out of this? There we go. You there, Jason?
I'm here. Is it,
Oh,
did
okay.
it end?
Yeah, it looks like it. Um, Try again. There we go.